Hari Om everyone. A very good morning and welcome to the fifth day of this online CRM festival. And we have had some great sessions in the last 5 days, in the last 4 days rather, and we explored very different dimensions of the relevance of CRM today and why did Rama do certain things and how CRM are not two but one, and the greatness of the name of Lord Ram, as well as the importance of the Ram Mandir and the cultural resurgence that it symbolizes. So these wonderful sessions with different speakers we have all seen, and today we are set for a very interesting, interactive, and a very engaging session on what are the life lessons that one can pick up from Ramayana. So before we go a little bit more about this, the faculty of the day, and a little bit more about what the session is going to be about, let us invoke the grace of the Lord through a very interesting dance invocation by Yoaveer Ankita.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। आर्तानामार्तिहन्तारं भीतानां भीतिनाशनम् द्विषतां कालदण्डं तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहम्। सन्नद्धः कवची खड्गी चापबाणधरो युवा गच्छन्ममाग्रतो नित्यं रामः पातु स लक्ष्मणः। नमः कोदण्डहस्ताय सन्धीकृतशराय च खण्डिताखिलदैत्याय रामायापन्निवारिणे। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। अग्रतः पृष्ठतश्चैव पार्श्वतश्वमहाबलौ आकर्णपूर्णधन्वानौ रक्षेतां रामलक्ष्मणौ रक्षेतां रामलक्ष्मणौ।
Okay, so now that we have seen that beautiful invocation, let us go to today's session. So we all know that the Ramayana has been with us for so many thousands of years. then the thing is, in spite of being around for so many years, any book is there, generally you read it once or twice or 5 6 times, you then get, okay, then we know the book, we know the story, so then why do we need it again and again? But Ramayana has been there for more than 5 7 years, and it still continues to be greatly popular, which means it holds some very interesting thing in it and some very interesting learnings, which give us a lot to learn about how to live life itself. So there are some beautiful life lessons which are hidden in the Ramayana, and that's what has attracted so many great people to Ramayana, and to take this message of Ramayana and spread to others. And one such person has been Shantanu Gupta ji. So a little bit of introduction about Shantanu ji. He's an Indian author, a TEDx speaker, and a political analyst. He's a published author of renowned publications like In Sage, Bloomsbury, and Rupa Publications. His latest book, BJP, Past, Present, and Future, is leading the charts on Amazon. His last book, The Monk Who Became Chief Minister, which is a biography of Yogi Adityanath ji, is listed as the most memorable non-fiction books of 2017 by Amazon. He's an engineering degree from the GB Pant University, management education from XLRI Jamshedpur, and a master's in policy and politics from the Institute of Developmental Studies and from the University of Sussex from the UK. He has worked with non-profits like Nandi Foundation and UNICEF in urban, rural, tribal spaces, and also worked with leading think tanks, Center for Civil Society. He's also worked for a decade as a process and management consultant in many cities in India, Switzerland, Cyprus, Hungary, Israel, before moving to social space. He has represented India in many international conferences on economy, policy in Germany, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. We often see Shantanu also, as a panelist in many TV news channels as well. So, and all of this, though he has so many accomplishments, one that he holds very dearly is being the founder and CEO of the Ramayana School, an initiative to take Lord Rama's life, the Ramayana, to schools, colleges, and corporates with meaningful, value-oriented workshops, reflective exercises, and quizzes formatted in contemporary style. I would request all of you to please go and check the Ramayana School website. And it's a wonderful website in itself. There's some very nice activities also that one can participate in. And there are some great workshops also which are being conducted there. So I'm sure all of us are very eager to listen to Shantanu ji. And he has some very interesting instructions. Please follow that and make sure that you participate fully and make this really a great lesson on life lessons from Ramayana. Shantanu ji, over to you.
Namaskar. Thanks for that lovely introduction. Thanks a lot. Namaskar, everyone. If all of you can put your videos on, that'll be lovely. We are a small group of learners of Ramayana. I consider myself a student of Ramayana. I'm sure so are all of you. So if all of us can put our videos on, that'll be lovely to see you, because in this Corona time, we are talking to the computer, right, from last 1 year. So if you can see faces instead of just a computer, that'll be lovely. I'm giving you a link in the chat window. Can you all come on that link? Because as my session will be quite interactive, so that you can participate with me. I'm also sharing my screen, and just give me a second. No, I don't want to show you my mails. Yeah, okay. Can someone prompt me if my screen is visible or not?
Yeah. So your screen is visible.
Okay, lovely.
So your screen is visible.
Okay, yeah, I got that. Lovely. And are you all on the link that I've given on the chat window? You can, maybe you not speak everyone, you can show thumb, that'll be easy. Yes, sir. Right? Because you will enjoy the session fully only if you come on the, just go to the browser or click this link directly, right? Because I'll also run a quiz, right? Okay. So I'm Shantanu Gupta, founder of Ramayana School. We do a lot of Ramayana workshop, and Ram Navami is coming very soon. So on the occasion, so normally I take a 10-week course, 5-week course. In this next 1.5 hour, we'll try to see what can we learn from Ramayana in today's context, right? People say, oh, Ramayana is a very old text. Do we really need it now? I'll try to show the relevance of Ramayana today, the historicity of Ramayana in next 50 to 60 minutes, right? I call it leadership lessons from Ramayana. Before that, tell me which city, state, country are you living in right now? Go on the link and type there. Go on the link and type there which city, country, state you are living in right now. So that, because see, there is a geography. So Ramayana starts in Ayodhya, moves on to Madhya Pradesh, then the Sita Haran happens in Maharashtra, where most of you are from, and then the partnership with Sugriv and Hanumanji happens in Kishkinda, Karnataka. Then Hanumanji reaches almost Tamil Nadu, Dhanushkodi. Right? Then he goes across, and then we reach Sri Lanka. So from north to south, it's a geographical integration of India also, along with, right? Oh my God. So people from Maharashtra, Karnataka, Singapore. Oh wow, the international audiences also. Okay. Keep everyone, please participate, so that we'll get to know.
So, is it possible for you to send the link again?
Okay, and keep helping each other. If I'm not able to focus on the chat, can someone keep replying? Yeah, I've Shelly ji, Sri Karna ji, don't reply on the chat. Go on the link and enter there so that everybody can see, right? See, it's such a lovely feeling, and I think it's a snapshot to take and post it on your Facebook pages, right? That on a Saturday morning, people from Mumbai to Bangalore to Singapore to Hong Kong to Tamil Nadu are learning Ramayana together. Isn't it a lovely feeling, right? For me, it is. Right? It's a lovely snapshot to take, right? And that makes a good Facebook post, isn't it? Okay, lovely. Okay, I got the sense. We are largely from Maharashtra, Mumbai, but there are many people from Bangalore, north of India, Muscat I'm able to see, Bangalore I'm able to see, Uttar Pradesh, where I'm currently sitting, and I'm sitting in Noida. Beautiful. I'm so thrilled. Thank you, organizers. Okay, now tell me, do you know the basic storyline of Ramayana? All of you? Right? Rama was born, married to Mata Sita. Then they were exiled, right? Then Mata Sita was kidnapped. Hanumanji helped Ram to search Mata Sita. Then there was a war between Ram and Ravana, and Rama defeated Ravana. I'm like, that's in 1 minute short story of how many? I'm sure all of you. 2% said no. Okay, I'm like, you should quickly watch some movie because reading takes some time. Okay. Now tell me, from where did you learn your Ramayana? What is your source? Is it Raman Sagarji's TV serial? Or you read whole of 24,000 shlokas? Or you read Tulsi Ramayana? Or you read it from some comic books, story books, Amarchit Katha, or something of that sort? Or the very famous parents, grandparents, friends, elders, teachers? How did you learn your Ramayana? Isn't it a lovely survey? Just to know. Okay. So storybooks and parents and grand. Lovely. Okay. I'm able to see a lot of people with their videos on. Anika Jain, Reva Kamath, Sri Karna, Radhamani ji, Pradyuman Ganesh ji, Saisha ji, Ananta ji, Pavan Suman. Welcome all of you. Okay. So now I know that you know Ramayana. Can I test you with all your permission? Can I do a small
Yes,
quiz?
sir.
Okay.
Obviously, sir.
Okay, so now there is a small screen will come. It will ask for your name. Enter your name so that we can know who are the top 10 winners, because the tool itself throws top 10 winners, right? It's not about winning and losing. It's basically about learning Ramayana together. I'm adding the component of winning and losing just to add a little fun to it, right? Okay, so let's test how much Ramayana you know, which you learned from the books, from Ramanand Sagarji, or from your parents and grandparents. So enter the quiz. Enter your name and enter the quiz. All of you, enter your name and enter the quiz. It's a small 8-question quiz. A quick, small 8-question quiz. All of you, keep entering. I see almost 173 people, but only few of you joined. Keep
Sir,
it-
the link is in the chat, no?
Yeah, the same link which you are going.
Okay.
Okay. If you're not
Excuse
able
me,
to
sir.
join,
Actually, I'm not able to join. It's saying that the host has not yet started the quiz.
no, you have joined the quiz because I have not started. You have not started playing the quiz because you have not
Oh.
started the quiz, right?
Okay.
Just join it. Follow my instruction properly. I have not asked you to play the quiz. I've asked you to just join the quiz, right? Okay. Even if you're not able to join, not a problem. You can just watch the quiz and learn. Right?
Quiz is saying the quiz is not open. Please wait.
Yeah, because I'm starting the quiz.
Sir, I'm not even able to go over there. I'm coming from the starting right now. It's again starting.
Not a problem. Just look at my screen because it will take time to explain everyone because there's so many of us. Just look at my screen.
Yes, sir. This is not open. Please wait for the presenter.
Because I have not started the quiz.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm starting the quiz now. Be on your screen, and please don't unmute yourself. Just respond on the screen. Who wrote original Ramayana? Rishi Valmiki, Rishi Vashishta, Rishi Vedavyasa, Rishi Vishwamitra. Please don't speak it out. Don't put it on the chat. Just answer on the options on your screen. Rishi Valmiki is the correct answer. 94% of you are correct. Beautifully. Claps for all of you. That's why it's called Valmiki Ramayana. Okay, that's a very easy one. Just a warm-up question. Let me move to the second question, which is a little tougher than this. Tell me now, was Rishi Valmiki contemporary of Lord Rama? Contemporary means were they living and occurring on the earth at the same time? Were they coexistent on the earth at the same time, Rishi Valmiki and Lord Rama? So mean the author and the hero of the story, right? Hero of the story is Rama and the author is Rishi Valmiki. The answer is yes. They were contemporary. There are a lot of conversation between Rishi Valmiki and Sri Ram in Ramayana. Beautiful. 56% of you are correct. Now let me move to little tougher ones, right? This Ram Navami, let's learn Ramayana properly. Valmiki Ramayana is written in which language? That's the easy one. I think. Sanskrit, Pali, Awadhi, or Hindi. Sanskrit, Pali. Exactly. It's written in Sanskrit. Valmiki Ramayana is written in Sanskrit. Ramacharitmanas or Tulsi Ramayana, that's written in Awadhi. Okay. Question number 4 for all of you. In front of you. Valmiki Ramayana has about how many shlokas? Shlokas are the 2-line Sanskrit couplets. How many shlokas? What's your guess? 108, 1008, 24,000, 5,000. The correct answer is 24,000. Massive book, isn't it? Like even if you read 10 shlokas, 20 shlokas a day, it will take like many years to complete, right? Okay, question number 5 in front of all of you. Tell me, Valmiki Ramayana is divided into 7 parts. What are these parts called? Are they called 7 sargas, 7 shlokas, 7 kands, or 7 parvas? Valmiki Ramayana is divided. Please don't reply in voice. Please reply on the screen, please. Not in voice.
Sargas. 7 sargas.
Not in voice, please, ma'am. No, it's called Kand, Balakand to Uttarakand. Sargas are the chapters. And Valmiki Ramayana has around 645 chapters. Okay. Now tell me. Now let me talk about the Kands. In which Kand of Valmiki Ramayana Mata Sita was kidnapped by Ravana? Balakand, Kishkinda Kand, Yuddha Kand, or Aranya Kand?
Aranya Kand.
Ma'am, can you please answer on the screen, not on voice? Otherwise, it will spoil the game.
This is meant for the younger age group, madam. Let the 13 to 28 years old participate, please.
That'll be lovely. Aranya Kand, lovely. 77% of you are right. Okay, one more question for all of you. Also around Kands. In which Kand Rama is born? Right? Because for our story to begin, Rama should take birth, right? In which Kand did that happen? Yuddha Kand, Ayodhya Kand, Balakand, or Aranya Kand? Shall I give you a hint? The name is also very intuitive. The name is like a childhood time period. Balakand. Bala means balak. Balak means child, childhood. That's the childhood Rama, and Rama is born in Balakand. Okay. Okay, last question of the day, and then we will jump to our session. In which Kand Rama killed Ravana? So he is born in Balakand, but finally he was the seventh avatar of Bhagwan Vishnu. He was born to eliminate Ravana. In which Kand did he eliminate Ravana? Again, the name is very intuitive. Yuddha Kand. You are right. It happened in Yuddha Kand. Do you want to see the results? Let's see how did it go. Many of you have not changed your names. You have just maintained the original mentee names. Okay, someone called Simba. I think Simba is not the original name. That's the name mentee gave you. But again, you all played beautifully well. I was seeing 60, 80, 90% correct answers in most of the screens. So claps for all of you. Shall we not clap for all of us? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. In fact, tomorrow we are doing a full-fledged Ramayana Olympiad. Tomorrow, 9:30 India time, we are doing a full-fledged Ramayana Olympiad. You can participate and win amazing prizes. Hindi USA, our partners, have sponsored amazing prizes. So you can have a detailed 50-question, 1.5-hour quiz tomorrow. Now, let me jump to my session. Right? See, there are various Ramayans. There are Tulsi Ramayana, there are Kalidas Ramayana, there are Kamban Ramayana. Do you know, even countries outside India, they have their own Ramayana? Do you know this country called Thailand? Right? It's a Buddhist country. They have their own Ramayana called Ramakien. That's their national book. Can you imagine that? The national book of a country called Thailand is Ramayana, called Ramakien. Islamic country, Indonesia, have their own Ramayana. You know what it's called? It's called Kakawin Ramayana, right? But we will go by the original source. And what is the original source? Is Valmiki Ramayana, written by Valmiki ji. That's the original source. Right? I'll request everyone, can you please all mute yourself? That makes it easy, right? Otherwise, some noise will keep coming. Okay, some of you are still not muted. I'll try to mute some of you, and also request the organizers, can you keep muting everyone except me? Okay. So Valmiki Ramayana has 6 kands or 7 kands. I'll tell you why I'm telling you 6 or 7, right? 645 sargas or chapters and 24,000 shlokas. That's a massive text, isn't it? Balakand, Rama takes birth and gets married to Mata Sita. Ayodhya Kand, Rama gets exiled, right? He goes to jungle. Aranyakand, Mata Sita got kidnapped by Ravana. Kishkinda Kand, Rama meets Sugriva and Hanuman. Sundarkand, Hanumanji searches for Mata Sita and finds Mata Sita. Yuddha Kand, there is a war between Rama and Ravana got eliminated. Uttarkand is whatever happens after Ravana's death, right? So in a lot of versions of Ramayana starts with Balakand and ends with Yuddha Kand. So they call it 6 kands. But in some editions, there is a version Uttarakhand after Yuddha Kand also. That makes it 7 kands, right? During our sessions, we go in depth, scholarly detail of Yuddha Kand and Uttarakhand also, right? Let me now using a couple of tools like the original narration, leadership lesson, quizzing, facts, a tool called Trace Rama and Ravana Within You, Kill the Ravana Within You, some Ramana tourism. Let me jump directly to Balakanda, right? And you know, where is this picture from? Can you guess in the chat window? Where is this picture from? It's an easy guess. Let me tell you, it's an easy guess. I keep traveling to a lot of Ramayana places. What is this? This is from Ayodhya. Exactly. This is
Sir,
from
are you sharing your screen or have you sent it in your chat?
I've already shared the screen. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Sir, I am not able to see. That's why I asked.
Is my screen visible to everyone? Can couple of you show? Okay, Shivji, thank you. My
Yes.
screen is visible.
It's visible.
Thank you. Okay. So this is in Ayodhya. This is at the entry of Ayodhya. This is a big pillar, and I organized me and my team organized Ayodhya Art Festival 2 years back, where we painted almost 10,000 square feet of wall with Ramayana murals, right? So whenever you'll go to Ayodhya next, you'll get a lot of Ramayana murals, big Ramayana murals on the wall. And this artist was painting this amazing child form of Rama, right? Isn't it lovely? Okay, tell me, and you know, child form of Rama's picture is not very common. Child form of Krishna's pictures are very common, right? Okay, tell me, Ananta, Shivji, Srikarna, right? If I want to convert this picture into a Krishna child picture, what should I add and what should I delete? Can you tell me in the chat window? What should I add and what should I delete? What should I add and what should I delete if I... What should I add and what should I delete? Okay, I can delete, I can add peacock feather. I can add peacock feather, exactly. I can add a flute, and I can delete bow and arrow. I can delete bow and arrow, right? Aha, beautiful. Okay, so you all of you attentive. And add some butter, exactly, Aparnaji. Add some butter, right? That'll make it a perfect Krishna. Okay. Okay, so let me jump directly to the story. Let me jump directly to the story because we don't have much time. So we are talking about Kosala Kingdom. We are talking about Kosala Kingdom. We are talking about the times of King Dashrath. We're talking about the times of King Dashrath. Dashrath had three queens. Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and Kaushalya. Dashrath also had a Kulguru called Vashishta, a dharmic advisor called Vashishta. Everything was very happy in the kingdom. Only he had one problem. You know what was Dashratha's problem? Can you tell me in chat? Everything was very happy. There was no corona that time. There was a strong army. Everyone was prosperous. No child who will take care of Ayodhya after Dashrath, right? And then he does Putra Kameshti Yagna. After Putra Kameshti Yagna, 4 beautiful children were born: Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughan. Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughan. And when they grew up, when they became almost 14, 15, and you know who was their Guruji? Who was their teacher? Their teacher number 1 was Rishi Vashishta.
Vishwamitra.
No, not Vishwamitra. The teacher number 1 was Rishi Vashishta, right? And Vishwamitra ji was their teacher in the Gurukul. Then one day, Rishi Vishwamitra comes, right? And he asked Dashrath that, can you give me Ram and Lakshman? And Dashrath was aghast. He said, why you want to take the Ram and Lakshman? He said, I want their help to kill Taraka, Marit, Subahu. And Dashrath said, no, they're not even 15, 16 years old. You can take me, you can take my army, but I cannot send my children who are just 15 years old, right, just to kill Taraka, Marit, and Subahu. Right, but again, then Vashishta Rishi advised Dashrath that Vishwamitra ji is an amazing teacher. He can be amazing teacher number 2 after me, and you should send Ram and Lakshman with Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra ji is taking Ram and Lakshman. That's the picture in front of you. And he's telling them a lot of stories. One very important story that he narrates is about how Bhagirath brought river Ganga to earth. How King Bhagirath, and you know who was Bhagirath? Bhagirath was one of the king in Rama's dynasty. In the same Ishvaku dynasty, in the same Kosala dynasty, in the Kosala kingdom, Bhagirath was one of the forefathers of Rama. And he was the first hydraulic engineer. Who brought river Ganga to earth, right? Such a massive effort. And that's why I want to give you this idiom today, a phrase today, a saying today. Whenever someone does something massive, something commendable, you should compliment that person. Oh my God, what a Bhagirath effort. What a Bhagirath effort, right? Okay. So now Rama is about to face the first crisis in life, right? What is the first Rakshasa that Rama and Lakshmana faced? Till now they were nicely in the palace. They were learning in the classroom. Now they are going to face the first crisis in life. Come on the screen. come on the screen and can you enter your choice? Who was the first Rakshasa or the crisis that Ram and Lakshman faced? Was it Marich? Was it Talaka? Was it Subahu? What is Vatapi?
Sir, one question. Can Tadaka also be pronounced as Taraka?
Yeah, Talaka, Tataka. There's the
4,
multiple.
4, 3, 4, 7, 6.
Okay. Okay, so the correct answer is Talaka. The correct answer is Talaka. So Talaka is the first crisis that Rama has faced. Now let me see how will you face any crisis. Imagine you are in New Delhi. You are in India, you are in New Delhi, and you have a flight to catch to United States of America. Right? It costed you $10,000. Almost how much? 7-8 lakh rupees. Right? Don't give me a goody answer. Give me a practical answer. What will you do? You're about to lose your tickets worth 7 lakh rupees. Traffic police will challan you how much? 500 rupees? 1000 rupees maximum? Right? You're about to lose your flight. You have a very important flight to catch to United States of America. You are in New Delhi. You are stuck in traffic. You can do one of the following. What will you do? You'll break the red light. You'll take a wrong U-turn. Will you overspeed, or you follow the traffic rules and you will forego 7 lakh rupees? What will you do? What will you do? Beautiful. Because this is the way we handle our crisis, right? We will see how Rama handled his first crisis. That's why I just want to check how you want to. So, okay. So only 30% of you will follow the traffic rules and almost 75% of you will not follow the traffic rules. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's see how Rama handled his crisis. Let's see how Rama handled his crisis. So the crisis called Talaka was standing in front, right? The crisis called Talaka was standing in front. Rama was ready with his bow and arrow. Can we all be ready with our bow and arrow? Can we all target on Talaka? Imagine Talaka standing in front, a ferocious demon Talaka standing in front, and you are ready with your bow and arrow, and you're about to target Talaka, and then Rama says, no, I will not kill Talaka. I cannot kill Talaka. Vishwamitra says, why? Why, my boy? Talaka is standing in front. The Christ is standing in front. If we will not eliminate Talaka, Talaka will eliminate us. So go ahead and eliminate us. Right? Right? Rama says, no. Rama says, no, I will not hurt Talaka because she is a woman. I am being taught not to hurt a woman. And Vishwamitra said, what you are saying is right. Even I teach the same to my students, that you don't hurt a woman, but Talaka is only in the body of the woman. She's only in the body of a woman. She doesn't have the qualities of a woman. She doesn't have the daya, karuna, mamta that a woman have. She doesn't have the compassion. She doesn't have the motherhood feeling. She kills children. She kills women. She kills men. She kills rishis. She destroys pujas. So it's okay to eliminate her. So when the moral compass, when the morality quotient of Rama got satisfied, then only he launched his arrow. Right? And that's the lesson for us. That's the lesson for us from today. That's the lesson for us from today, that don't give up your moral values in the times of crisis. In the times of crisis. Just give me a second. My screen is hanging, I think. Just give me a second. So even in the time of crisis, uphold highest of the moral standards. Right? Uphold high moral standards even in the time of crisis. Remember, almost 70% of you were ready to flout the traffic rules in the moment of crisis. See, Ramayana is not a text on practicality. It's not a text how to save your money. It's not a text on how to save money. It's a gold standard on morality. That's why even after 14,000 years, as per the dating of Dr. Nileshok, that's how old Ramayana is. Even after thousands of years, almost 150 of us are discussing Ramayana on a Saturday morning, right? Because it's a gold standard on morality, right? Uphold highest of the moral standards even in the time of crisis, right? That's what Rama teaches us. Okay, let me take you to
Just one
Ayodhya.
minute, Shantanu, just like one small announcement. We are going to make everybody mute right now once again. So please don't unmute yourselves. We will disable that option for you. After, if required at some point, when your interaction required, we'll allow you to unmute.
Yeah,
All right?
that'll be easy for us. Yeah.
So just
Also, one more request is please. So one more request is all the elders, please exit the group. Let this be only for the youth. Elders can watch it on YouTube, please. Thank you. I've sent the link on the chat. You can watch it live on the YouTube also, so you will not miss it. Thank you.
Okay. So you know, this is the picture from Ayodhya itself. I keep going to Ayodhya and click this picture myself. This is Kanak Bhavan. Kanak means gold, and this Bhavan, this building looks like gold, right? And you know what is the significance of this building? When Ram and Sita got married and when they came back to Ayodhya, this is the gift they got. And can you guess on the chat window who gifted this Bhavan to them? Who gifted Kanak Bhavan to Ram and Sita? Can you guess in chat window? It's a very unique answer. You'll be surprised to listen to the answer. Who gifted? Kekai Ma, exactly, Ananta. Kekai. Because we know what Kekai did to them, right? Hanumanji is still not in the scene. Hanumanji is still not. Right? Okay. So now let's move to Kekai. Now let's move to Ayodhya Kand, right? So Bal Kand is about birth of Rama and marrying to Mata Sita. Let me take you one more example. Let me take you one more life lesson, and then we'll start interacting. Then we'll start interacting, right? Because that way the whole Ramayana take normally 6 to 10 days, right? Let me take you one more example. So now Rama was chosen as a king, right? So next day was Rama's coronation ceremony. He was about to become the king, but Manthara and Kekai conspired, and Manthara asked the 2 wishes that Dasharatha gave him long back. And you know, these are verbal promises. This is not some written agreement, and nobody knew about these promises, right? And Kekai asked for 2 promises, that first, make my son Bharat as the king. She was not happy with only that, and said, send Bharat to exile, send Bharat to jungle for 14 long years, right? And Dasharatha did not know what to do, because he will lose his son, Ayodhya will lose a king, and he does not know what to do. Now, I want you to become Dasharatha for 2 minutes. Imagine you are King Dasharatha, right? Imagine you are King Dasharatha, and you have this agreement, and you have given this promise to Kekai many years back. No one knows about this promise. What will you do? Give me a practical answer. Don't give me a good wishy answer. Give me a practical answer. No one knows about this promise. No one knows about this promise. If you even forego this, no one will know that you did some promise. Only you and Kekai know. And Kekai asked for these weird demands, that send a elected king to jungle. Ayodhya will lose such an amazing king. You will lose your son, right? Do you want to agree to the weird demands of Kekai, or you want to do something else? You are my modern Dasharathas. Tell me, what will you do, guys? Tell me, what will you do? My modern Dasharathas, tell me, what will you do? Okay. So 28% of you, almost 30% of you will agree to the demand, but 70% of you will not agree to the promise. You will not follow your promise. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Let me tell you what Dasharatha did. Dasharatha said, I as a king, if we have done the promise, even if it's not a written promise, I will follow the promise. I know I will be very sad because Ram will be away. My dearest son will be away. I know Ayodhya will be very sad because Ayodhya will lose such an amazing king. But if I as a king will not follow the promise, who will follow the promise? And there's a beautiful chopai in Ramcharitmanas which says, Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aaye, Prana Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. Do you know what does it mean? That this is the tradition in the Raghukul, means Raghu was one of the forefathers of Dasharatha. This is the tradition in Ishwaku dynasty. This is the tradition in the family, in the forefathers of Dasharatha, that you should be ready to lose your heart. You will be ready to lose your life, but you should not go back on your promise. That's how promise were in those days. Don't we break so many promises every day? Promises to our friends, promises to our parents, parents to children, to so many people, right? But for Dashrath, promise was a promise, was a promise, right? You know, if you talk to any of your friends who are lawyer, they will tell you half of the cases in the courts today are breach of promises and breach of written agreements. And in fact, there was no written agreement between Dashrath and Kekai. It was just a verbal promise. But even then, Dashrath followed it. See, I call it, Utkarshji, today's society is a CCTV society. We are behaving morally good because the CCTV is watching us, not because we want to behave morally good, right? We are behaving morally good because there's a police, there's a government, that there's a CCTV, somebody is watching us, right? But not in those times. Nobody was watching Dashrath. If Dashrath was a very powerful king, if he will not follow the Kekai's promise, nobody will question him. And anyway, no one wants Dashrath, Ram to go away. Everyone loves Sri Ram so much that no one wants Rama to go away. Even then, Dashratha followed the promise. That was the significance of a promise. So we learn from Dashrath that promise is a promise is a promise. Once you do the promise, you don't weigh Divit that, oh, will the promise follow benefit me or not benefit me? You have done the promise, meaning you have done the promise. Isn't it lovely? Isn't it lovely? Okay. These are the two ideas I want to share with you in our 10 days workshop. Normally we go through almost our 5 days workshop. We go through 25 such lessons. But let me touch some other things, right? Let me tell you the geography of Ramayana, right? So Ramayana starts from Ayodhya. That Rama gets married to Mata Sita in Janakpur in Mithila. Then during the exile, he first fell to Prayag. The earlier name was Allahabad. Yogi Adityanath restored the name to Prayag, where Kumbh happened, the previous Kumbh happened. Then to Chitrakoot, where Bharat Milap happened, where Rama met Bharat. Then Panchvati. You know why Panchvati is, what is the significance of Panchvati in Ramayana? Can you tell me in the chat window? What is the significance of Panchvati in Ramayana? What happened in Panchvati in Ramayana? What most significant thing happened in Panchvati in Ramayana? Exactly, Mata Sita got kidnapped. Thank you, Dattaji. Yeah, thank you, Diya. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then we move to Kishkinda. What is the significance of Kishkinda? Tell me in the chat window. What is the significance of Kishkinda? I told you in the starting. What is the significance of Kishkinda? Yeah, Kishkinda, Rama met Sugriv and Hanuman. Rama met Sugriv and Hanumanji, right? A partnership with Sugriva and a friendship with Hanumanji, right? Okay. And then to Tamil Nadu, right? Rameshwaram. And you know what is the last point, Jagdishji? What is the last point in Tamil Nadu, Rameshwaram, from where Hanumanji started, from where we made the bridge, Ramasetu? What is the starting point? What is the starting point in Tamil Nadu? Or the last point in Tamil Nadu? Rameshwaram, even in Rameshwaram, what is the name of that particular spot, Dattaji? What is the name of the particular spot? Ah, Aditya, thank you. Glass for Aditya. It's called Dhanushkodi. It's called Dhanushkodi. Can we do one thing? Can we do one thing? Can we all take our mobile phones and go to Google Maps? I'm sure you all know how to find distances in Google Maps. Can you find distance between Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh and Dhanushkodi of Tamil Nadu? All of you on Google Maps. Find the distance between Ayodhya and Dhanushkodi. Ayodhya of Uttar Pradesh and Dhanushkodi of Tamil Nadu. Can you find the distance? Can you find the distance and answer on the screen? What is the distance? Find in kilometers. Find in kilometers. See your screen. Is it about 100 kilometers or 550 kilometers or 1050 kilometers or 2400 kilometers? Find in kilometers.
So which all places distance do we need to find?
From Ayodhya to Dhanushkodi. From Ayodhya to Dhanushkodi. Aha, lot of you have already found it. Lot of you have, it's around 2400 kilometers, 2500 kilometers, right? And why, you know, why I'm showing show? Like even today, the places of Ramayana are valid or even on your latest Google Maps. The places are valid, right? A lot of people say, oh, Ramayana is just a fiction. We don't even know those places exist or not. From Ayodhya to Chitrakoot to Prayag to Panchvati to Kishkinda to Rameshwaram to Dhanushkodi to Lanka, all the places exist, right? You can't create so many fictional places, right? You can't create so many fictional places, right? From Ayodhya to, okay, beautiful. Now tell me, who is the most inspiring character of Valmiki Ramayana as per you? All of you please participate in this. I want to know who inspires you the most in Valmiki Ramayana. Who inspires? No, write it, beta. I'm sure, I don't know how much, how you're able to unmute yourself. I thought organizers have unmuted everyone. Hanumanji. If many of you write the same name, the name will become bigger. So if Hanumanji, Mata Sita and Ramji's name is coming bigger, that means now I request the organizer, now I request all of you to raise your hands, raise your hand on the Zoom tool, and I want to take five, six of you want to know why Hanumanji, why Lakshmanji, why Sitaji, why that's the most inspiring character. And whoever will speak has to put your videos on. If your video is not on, I'll request the organizer not to take them online because it's difficult to talk without the video being on. I request the organizer to take some of the people online and they can talk to me.
Saili, can you share your thoughts?
Yes, Hari Om, Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. So who is your favorite character, Saili?
My favorite characters are three: Rama, Mother Sita.
No, just tell me one. You have to tell me one. Favorite means the superlative, right? You have to tell one. Because then it's an easy choice. If you make 5 characters, 3 characters, it's easy choice. Make a tough choice and make one character.
If I take a tough choice and I will try to make it one. So I will feel like Mother Sita is my favorite.
And why? Why she inspires you?
Sita is the favorite one because even though she was away from Lord Rama, she always had the devotion to Lord Rama, and she was always devotional and she would never go out of her moral.
Beautiful.
When she was kidnapped by the
Ravana.
And Ravana, that time also she would never see here and there, always do japa of her Lord Rama.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, who else? Who else want to share their favorite? Keep lowering your hands. Organizers, can you take more people? I want to hear more ideas.
David, can you share your thoughts?
Yeah, my favorite character in Ramayana is Lakshmana, because even though he wasn't asked to go to the forest along with Rama.
Beautiful
he
point.
Also, like, out of devotion to his brother, he also went along with
Exactly. I think what David pointed out is beautiful, that exile was not for Lakshman. It was not for Sita. It was only for Ram. But he chose to come along. He left the luxuries of the palace and went with Rama for 14 years. Thank you. So we learn devotion from him, right? Try to find out what when we can learn from that character. Okay, can we take more people online? Can we talk to more people?
Yeah, Saraswati, can you share your thoughts? I think your video needs to be turned on as well. Saraswati, can you please turn it on?
Yeah, my favorite character is Hanuman because he has always been calm in everything and he had faced everything. He didn't lose hope.
Okay, so he did not lose hope, and that's why so not losing hope is what we learn from Hanumanji, right?
We should never give up.
Beautiful. So we should never give up. That's the idea that we learn from Hanumanji. That's what I'm saying. These characters are real characters. See, when we see that screen, this screen gives me pleasure. That for the young generation of today, Ram is a hero, Hanuman ji is a hero, Mata Sita is a hero, Lakshman ji is a hero. See, we are a country of real heroes. We don't need plastic heroes, right? The countries which don't have real heroes, they may need a plastic hero like Spider-Man and Superman, right? But we don't need plastic heroes, right? Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Who else? Who else? I want to hear more ideas.
Yeah. Prasanna, can you share? Your idea?
Prasanna ji.
Yeah. So I feel Hanuman is my favorite character because he's really loyal and he listens to Ram Bhagwan and Sita Mata as more like a family member rather than a friend. And he shares his thoughts in a way like when he took the ring of Mata Sita, he was really trustworthy. He was the most loyal friend anyone could have. So I feel he was brave also because he was not scared that Ravan would like kill him or something, because he wanted to sacrifice his life for Ram Bhagwan, which is really inspiring.
Okay, beautiful, beautifully said, beautifully said.
Thank you.
Okay, who else? Who else?
Mahira, can you share your thoughts?
Yeah, my favorite character in this Ramayana was Ramji. I thought Ramji because when Kekai said that, like, now when Dashrath followed the promise and he asked Ram that now you have to go. So then Ram, like, otherwise as a god, no one does that. That come on, now I won't go. I want to stay in this house. I want to get I don't want to go in the. I don't want to go in the jungle. I don't want to get like all of that. So that's the reason I felt, because I want to like inspire. I'm like I actually want to get inspired by him, because the way he, like, I really like the way he said that, yeah, fine, I'll go. And he went there for 14 years and he was also very calm and everything. That's the reason I found him as the favorite character.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, we can take two more people, and then I have one more interaction session after that. There's one more question that we want to interact on. Okay, two more people.
Shaurya, can you unmute yourself and also turn on your video, please?
Yes. Favorite like he is a person whoever he was devoted to. Like he was devoted to Sri Ram. He didn't question like why you got kidnapped, so why should I bother? That's your problem. No. So because of his devotion and his loyalty, he got a place. He was like a family member to Ramji. He even went from he even traveled many distances to reach Lanka and find Sita ji. He even had his tail on fire to save her.
Okay, so Hanumanji seems like seems like one of the most favorite characters. Okay, one more person, then I'll move to one more interesting exercise. We can take one more person.
Yeah, Sahana, can you please share your?
Yeah. So I would like Vibhishan ji, because even though he was from the demon dynasty, he was loyal to Lord Rama. That was very inspirable, that from another clan somebody came to a person.
Right.
So
Vibhishana,
the enemy is his own brother.
Exactly. So Vibhishana said, even though my brother Ravana is my brother, I will stand with Dharma. I will stand with Rama. Beautiful. I think beautiful contribution from all of you. Beautiful contributions from all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I want to do one more exercise, which I do my session in detail. That I think you all will agree with, that we all have Rama within us. We all have Ravana within us. You agree? And the kids have, I think I realize the kids have more of Rama qualities and less of Ravana qualities. We the adults have more Ravana qualities, right? And I think our endeavor should be, our try should be every day, that try to identify the Rama within us and try to identify the Ravana within us, and keep increasing our Rama qualities and keep decreasing our Ravana qualities. So let's, on the occasion of the Ram Navami week, let's try to kill the Ravana within us. Is that a lovely idea? And I'll start with myself, and let's see who are the other brave ones who will kill the Ravana in front of so many people, right? So I was running Ramayana school for a couple of years, but I was only taking physical classes, some in Chinmaya Mission, some in some colleges, right? But physical classes have their own limitations, right? I was feeling lazy about to make it online, to create the whole content, to create all the quizzes all in the online format, right? But taking physical classes is easy, right? And then Corona pushed me to take it online, right? That's not a very good reason to go online. So I want to kill my Ravana of delaying and procrastination, that I want to kill in front of all of you. Now I want some of you and all of you, or whoever can participate, some 6-7 of you, to raise your hand and tell me which Ravana within you want to kill today. Which Ravana, on the auspicious occasion of Ravanavami, which is coming very soon, which Ravana within you want to kill. And organizers, can we take new people which have not spoken? The people who have already spoken, please don't raise your hands. If you have already risen, please lower your hands. The people who have not spoken, the participants have not spoken, let's give the opportunity to them.
Yes,
Organizers,
sure.
can we unmute some people who want to kill the Ravana within them?
Krishna only, can you share your answer?
Hari Om Shantanu-ji.
Hari Om.
The Ravana which is residing in me is the lack of focus. I want to kill it and want to be one-pointed like Sri Rama.
Beautiful, beautifully said. I think Krishnaji, I think half of the battle won once you identify your Ravana, right? Because a lot of people are in the confusion. They said, I am the best. I don't need any problem, right? So the first step is identify your problem. Beautiful. Okay, who else? Who else?
Yeah, and can Anika Jain, can you just? Yeah.
I would like to Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I would like to kill the jealousy quality inside me.
I think, Anika, we all get jealous of other people. You are only the brave one to say it in front of so many people. So claps for you. It's not that, I think we all have this quality. Okay. Can we unmute Shiv Bhanabji? I'm seeing he's quite active, and can we unmute him? I'm able to see him. He's quite actively participating. Shivji.
Yeah, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Shantanu-ji. One Ravana which I would like to kill is not having a strong resolve.
Not having a strong resolve. Okay, yeah. You said it on a Saturday morning is spending time learning Ravana. That itself is quite strong resolve. But again, if you have identified it, I'm sure you'll work towards it. Okay, we can unmute 3-4 more people, organizers. Let's see the people who have not spoken.
Ananta,
till now.
can you share your thoughts? What the Ravana you want to eliminate?
Yes. I would like to kill the Ravan of inalertness and unfocusedness.
Okay, so you want to be focused, you want to be alert, right? See, yoga and meditation, eating nice vegetarian healthy food, doing yoga at least 30-40 minutes a day, meditation 30-40 minutes a day keeps you alert and focused. Okay. Who else?
Saisha, can you please share your thoughts?
I really want to remove my attitude and because sometimes I become eager, and even I want to remove my jealousy because if I see something, sometimes I get jealous. So I really want to remove that, and I don't want to show my attitude and anger to anyone.
Okay. I'm so happy kids as young as Saisha are able to identify whatever weaknesses they have and they're ready to work on it. That itself is beautiful. Okay, we can take 2 more people, organizers.
Arna, can you share your thoughts, Arna?
Yeah, Hari Om Swamiji. I would like to kill the Ravan that I judge people quite often. Like I judge them without knowing who they are. So I would like to kill that quality.
Okay. Thank you for agreeing that. Okay, we can take 1 more person, and then I'll spend 5-6 more minutes with the participant. Yeah.
Pranav, can you share?
Yeah. Hari
Om.
I think I would like to kill the Ravana of over attachment to objects or people within me, because I feel like as we all know, nothing is permanent, and when we are over attached to objects as well as people, it only brings sadness at some point of time. Although it gives temporary amount of happiness.
I think what you said, Pranav, is in one line is the sar of whole Gita. What you just said is nothing but the sar of whole Gita, right? That don't get attached. Even this body is not ours, right? Our Atma will transcend to another body, right? And I'll tell you a small incident. 5 days back, I changed my house from one rented house to another rented house. and my whole family and me was sitting, leaving sad to leave the rented house. Can you imagine? Even leaving a rented house, I've been feeling sad when I'm living for 6-7 years, right? That's what human being is. And sooner we take the attachment out of things, sooner we will live a far more fulfilling life. Okay. Okay, that's lovely contributions. And if you have not spoken, can you just mention it here? Which Ravana quality within you want to kill today, so that we can read? Because I'm sure a lot of you want to speak, and a lot of you may not feeling shy to speak, but here we'll not get to know who is writing what. So that we'll get to know what you want to kill during this Ram Navami week. Shyness, jealousness, anger, right? Okay. Laziness, able to focus, ego and hatred. Beautiful, beautiful. I would like to kill the Ravana of ego inside me. I'm so happy that you're able to identify it. Identification of the Ravana is the biggest step. Oh, wow. So many of you are writing now. Laziness, dishonesty. But so honest of you to identify that you get dishonest at some time. All of it get dishonest, but able to identify it and kill it. I would like to kill my shyness, laziness. For laziness, drink a lot of fresh water, eat fresh vegetarian food, do yoga, pranayama, dhyan, puja for at least 30-40 minutes a day. That will take away of laziness out of window. Anger, ego, procrastination. Okay, beautiful contributions. Beautiful contributions. Such a lovely group. Such a lovely set of participants. Okay, okay. Let me move on. Let me move on. Let me move on. What do you think, guys? Is Valmiki Ramayana is just a story or is a history? I just want to spend 3-4 minutes.
History.
A lot of, yeah, just participate on the screen. Just participate on the screen. Do you think And now I again want some of you to raise your hands and tell me how will you prove to a maybe a foreigner who doesn't know about Ramayana, who just read the book, who will say, oh, this sounds so fictional, right? How will you prove that's a history? How will you prove? And again, I give this work to the organizers. Can we take 3-4 people who have not spoken till now? Prove that Ramayana is a history, not a myth. How will you prove? There are various ways. In our workshop, we spend almost 30-40 minutes just to establish that how one can prove. But I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you.
Utkarsha, can you unmute yourself? And
Utkarsha ji, how will you prove to someone that Ramayana is a history, not a myth, not a fiction?
As you said earlier, there are places.
There are places.
Every place, but it may happen that we can take some places name and we can write anything fictional. But still, till now, we are worshipping those all places. Like anyone can write a fictional book on depending on the places, but no one can bring that that
feeling of reverence, feeling of reverence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very interesting point. So it cannot happen that Valmiki ji stood one day, he took a lot of these places and established the religiosity around those places, right? From Ayodhya to Chitrakoot to Panchvati to Kishkinda to Sri Lanka, he cannot do that, right? So, and Ramasetu is one of them, right? So one is the historical evidence of the places. What else? What else? Tell me. Anyone?
Can Bini Shah unmute yourself? Yeah, also please turn on your video.
I would say that like all the places are real.
Okay.
And there are many not really archaeological sites, but places where that tell us about the part of the Ramayana.
Okay, so what Bini said is there are so many legends around. There's so many legends around Ramayana. They all cannot go wrong, right? So one is about places. So one argument that the previous participant and Benisha said, there's so many places, there historicity is right. What else? What else? It's a very important question. A lot of people doubt Ramayana just for this. So we should be very strong in that. Okay. Who else? Who else?
Chinmay. Can Chinmay share your...
Chinmay.
Yeah, Hari Om.
Hariom.
So one of the main things to be noted is that the amount of details given in the Ramayana. If anyone wanted to
Beautifully
make,
said.
they could
Beautifully
just take 2-3 characters or the
Ah.
dynasties, etc. are very detailedly mentioned.
Chinmay, tell me one thing. Chinmay, tell me one thing.
Yeah,
You know about Harry Potter,
yeah.
right? You know about Harry Potter. Do you know the father of Harry Potter?
Yeah,
What's the name of father of Harry Potter?
James Potter.
Okay, what's the name of his father? Harry Potter's
not-
father's father. What's the name
not
of Harry
given.
Potter's father's father?
It's not given.
What is the
But
name of Harry Potter's father's father? It's not written because it's a fiction, right? But in Ramayana, there are 44 people before Rama. From Manu to Ishwaku to whoever, right? Who will give so many details is a fictional book. And you know, literally it becomes boring at some point in Ramayana. While you're reading Ramayana, it becomes boring, right? So if it's written for the purpose of entertainment, then nobody will give 44 people before Ramayana, before Rama, right? And many after him, right? So you are very right. And when they're talking about the equipment, the weapons, there are many shlokas just on the weapons. And literally it becomes boring if you want to read it for fun. So it's a documentation. It's a documentation of history that happened, right? Okay, who else? Who else?
Can we have Nidhi? Nidhi Kesarwani, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, also please turn on your video. Yeah.
Yeah. I have already. Hello.
Yes, yes, go on, Nidhi.
Yeah, sir, I have switched on my video. Yeah. Sir, I just wanted to say, apart from places, what I think, I mean, Ramayana is there in people's mind also. We have seen so many serials also, and from the childhood, our parents used to say we should always speak truth. Good always wins over evil. Like the way we are born and brought up, our kids are also born and brought up in that way. So we have this faith that Ramayana is there.
So one is our belief. One is our belief that Ramayana is there, and we not prove ourselves. But one is how will you prove to others? So historicity is one, and I will invite all of you to watch a video by Dr. Nilesh Oak. Dr. Nilesh Oak is an Indologist who has done a beautiful scientific dating of Ramayana. He has written books on dating of Ramayana. Watch any video on dating on Ramayana and Mahabharata, and you know there is almost 500 plus astronomical references in Ramayana. So Ram is talking to Lakshmana and he's mentioning about some star position. What Dr. Nilesh Oak has done, he has mapped all those star positions in modern astronomy softwares, and they all point out to a particular date. Right? It cannot happen. Valmiki ji cannot cook up so many star positions, right? So all those star positions are also relevant even today after 14,000 years. Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Just one thing, Chandran, since you mentioned it, they don't need to wait for too long, because today evening, as part of CRM Fest, Nilesh is going to be talking about.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. He's one of my favorite, one of my favorite Ramayana-based scholars, and do attend his session. He's an amazing guy. What he has done, like, to my understanding, he should get a Nobel Prize. What he has done, and if you read his work, you will be mesmerized the kind of work he's doing. Right? He's a very good friend. He's become a very good friend over the years. Right. So just to organize the Indian text for you. Indian sacred text is divided into two parts: Shruti Parampara and Smriti Parampara. Shruti Parampara is Vedas and Upanishads. Smriti Parampara is one important component called Itihasa. And Itihasa is nothing. There are two Itihasa: Valmiki Ramayana and Vedavas Mahabharata. Right? And you know what is the definition of Itihasa? The definition of Itihasa is Purva Vrittam Kathayuktam. Means Purva Vrittam, it has happened in Purva. It has happened in Purva means it happened in the past. That makes it historical. But there is a beautiful element to Itihasa. It's Katha Yuktam, means it's narrated as a story. So history narrated as a story becomes Itihasa. But there is one more component to it. It's not for the purpose of entertainment. It's the purpose of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Right? So any history which is narrated as a story for the purpose of Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha becomes the Itihasa. So Itihasa is not history. It's not. So that's why, and Ramayana is Itihasa. So it happens in past, narrated as a story, not for entertainment, for the purpose that a human being can attain the 4 principles of life: Artha, Dharma, Kama, Moksha. That's how beautiful Ramayana is, right? Okay, I think with this end, I want to end my session. And any question and answer, you can raise your hand, or you can ask on the chat window, and we'll ask moderators and ask the organizers to moderate it. And maybe we can spend 6 more minutes to delve on Ramayana.
Yeah, I think while the questions can come, but there were a couple of questions which had already come.
Oh, I missed them. Can you ask them?
Yeah, sure. So one question was that, it was about when Dasharatha's promise to Kaikeyi.
Right.
That as a king, didn't he have greater duty to his country than to his personal satisfaction of keeping up a world? Shouldn't Dasharatha kept his...
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So see, it's not a personal satisfaction only, it's also leading by example, right? If Dasharatha as a king will not keep a promise, who in the country, who in the kingdom, who in the Bharatavarsha will keep the promise? So he had to set a gold standard on keeping promises, that if I have given the promise, I have to follow the promise. If I will not follow the promise, no one will, right? And keeping the quality, keeping the standard of following promises is a very, very important thing. That's why he has done this, right? Anyone else? Keep asking the questions which I might have missed in the chat during the session, or people can ask live.
No, so somebody is saying that, but no one knew that he had given a promise. I think already Shantanu ji had clarified that integrity was something that was most important to Dasharatha.
And setting up an example of integrity. So personal integrity and setting up an example of integrity is also very important, right? Because he's a king, he's not a nobody, right? People will follow him.
So while, okay, one more question has come. Do we have any similarities between Rama and Krishna?
So one similarity, they both are avatars of Bhagwan Vishnu. Rama was the 7th avatar, Krishna was the 8th avatar, right? But one departure is very thing. Rama can be considered the gold standard on morality, the gold standard on a moral behavior. Krishna is a gold standard on strategy, right? That you have to do whatever you have to do to save dharma. The purpose of both of them is same, to save dharma, right? But the ways Rama uses, the ways and means the Krishna uses are different, because by the time the Krishna came on earth, the yuga was also different, right? The yuga and the morality quotient also around was different, right? So that's why Rama used all the moral means and Krishna used all the strategy available to him to win the war. Okay, anyone else?
Another question is that it's not very easy to be like Rama today. So how can one try to be like Rama?
So yeah, it's right. It's not easy. So that's why I'm saying Ramayana is not a text on practicality. It's not a text on strategy. It's a text on gold standard morality, right? So let's see how much can we do, right? And that gives you power. Morality gives you power. When you're truthful to yourself, it gives you personal power, right? So yeah, you're right. It's not to stand, but when you want to check yourself on moral standards, Ramayana is the text to go for.
So one question is, why didn't Dasharatha banish Kaikeyi for her evil desires?
Say that again.
Why didn't Dasharatha banish Kaikeyi for her evil desires?
In fact, there's a very interesting, in fact, we take it on Ramayana level 2 course. What is the treatment of Kaikeyi after this, right? What will you imagine? Like people will curse her to death, right? That, oh my God, because of you, Rama is gone. Rama is a loved person by everyone, right? Everyone loves Rama. And when he was gone, everyone will blame Kaikeyi. Very interestingly, after the Vanvas, there is hardly any mention of Kaikeyi. There are only 3-4 times Kaikeyi's mention came, right? Even Valmiki has given up on Kaikeyi after the Vanvas. The 3 references are very interesting. So when the person who dropped Ram and Lakshman to the outskirts, Ram, Lakshman, Sita to the outskirts of Ayodhya, he came, Sumantra, he came, people asked, how was Rama, how was Sita, where did they sleep, where did they eat, what did they eat, right? And then someone asked that, did Sita Mata mention anything about Kaikeyi? And Sumantra told everything in detail, but he said, no, I've forgotten, right? and which itself showed that Sita Mata must not have spoken something very nice for Kekai, but Sumantra did not want to tell that on the face of Kekai, right? Can you imagine that? Sumantra, even after such a vicious plan of Kekai, did not want to hurt Kekai. Incident number 2, when Bharat was introducing Kekai during his Bharat Milap to Rishi Bharadwaj, and he said, you know, this is my mother Kekai, because of which Rama went to exile. And then Bharadwaj Rishi said, no, this is not the way you talk to your mother. Bharat Rishi said to Bharat, this is not the way you talk to your mother, right? And then one more incident when Kekai is mentioned comes. Rama and Lakshmana were in jungle, they're talking to each other. He said, oh, Lakshmana is just making a joke that our brother Bharat is such a nice person. He's not living in the palace. He's living in a hut outside the palace, right? Good that he's not like Kekai, he's like our father Darshat. And then Rama scolds Lakshman that please don't talk ill about Kekai, right? So not only Darshatha, no one mistreats Kekai more or less after the incident. And that's how Ramayana is. Even after doing such a vicious thing, people are, if not nice, they are neutral to Kekai. And that's why I'm saying Ramayana is a gold standard on morality. Okay, who else? Who else?
There are many questions. I'll try and ask a few of them, whichever we can. So one question is that do we still follow a promise even if somebody is taking advantage of us? So is that still,
yeah, that's why we have to see. That's why we have to see what we want to leave our legacy as. Rama, Dasharatha want to leave their legacy as legacy on morality, and Krishna want to save dharma at any cost, right? So I think we can't give a absolute answer that okay, you have to do this. But again, that's why we are blessed with Ramayana, we are blessed with Gita, we are blessed with Mahabharata. We have to use our own vivek, our own strategy to use what to follow when, right? Yeah.
So one person asked, can you please tell a little bit about the different versions of Ramayanas in different countries?
Yeah. So we take a one full session around that. But again, you're right. So Ramayana through the trade route, you know, India was and is a trading country. So even before the modern routes of trade were open, through ships, Indian trader used to go to a lot of South Asian countries, right? And with traders went Ramayana, right? With traders went Ramayana. In fact, Uttar Pradesh government, the current Yogi government, is doing a very beautiful project, and follow that project. It's called Ramayana Encyclopedia. You know what are they doing? In Ramayana Encyclopedia, they're finding traces of Ramayana in almost all countries possible, and they've already found 100 traces. They've already found traces in 100 countries, and traces of Ramayana in their culture, in their food, in their dance, in their clothes. They're finding traces in Philippines, in Thailand, in Indonesia, in Sri Lanka, many more countries. So that's the text to refer, Ramayana Encyclopedia. But again, in South Asian countries, in Sri Lanka, even in Islamic country like Indonesia, there's Kakavin Ramayana. You know, in Indonesia, there is a group in Yogyakarta which is doing Ramayana, Ramlila from last 43 years every single day. Can you imagine in an Islamic country, there are groups which are doing display of Ramayana from last 43 years every single day, right? So yeah, I'll share a video and you can go to Ramayana School's website and find a video by Anita Boseji, Footprints of Ramayana in South Asia, right? Yeah. Because otherwise that's a detailed topic.
Right. So there are some more questions, and of course,
we can take 3-4 more questions maybe.
Yeah, so we have tried to answer this in some of our earlier sessions, but I think some of the kids have not yet attended that. So the question again comes down to, why did Rama have to unjustly send Sita to exile? If though he's a standard of morality, then why didn't he have to do that?
See, this is one of the most debated sequence of Ramayana. This and why Rama killed Bali hiding behind the tree. These are the most debated incidents of Ramayana. See, Sita Mata lived with Rakshasas, right? If any normal person lived with the Rakshasa and comes back to live back, there'll be restrictions to that person, because you don't know what kind of food that person have eaten, what kind of behavior she or he has learned, what kind of thoughts he or she has imbibed. That's why she has gone through Agni Pariksha. Then one Dhobi mentioned about her character. Now Rama had two choices: follow Parivara Dharma, or follow Raj Dharma. Shall I set a moral standard for my kingdom, or shall I appease my family? Right? So even current leaders, current political leaders, we see a lot of leaders who work for their family, but we see a lot of leaders who work for the country. So do you want leaders who work for the family or you work for the country? Tell me in the chat window. Which kind of leaders you like? You want the leaders who work for their country or who work for their family? Unfortunately, we have a leader like that in Narendra Modi. We don't even know whose mother is, whose parents are. But do we know Rahul Gandhi's mother? We know. I don't want to make it political, but I'm giving a parallel example. Right? So Rama was a leader who wanted to work for his country. So he set an example that even if it's my own wife, she will meet the same standard, the same jurisdiction, what a normal person will meet. The rules will be same for my family and for any common citizen, right? So that's why he has set a gold standard on governance. Okay, anyone else? Any last, maybe last two questions? Let's take last two questions.
So again, I think that as is a part of Raj Dharma, shouldn't he correct the citizens when they are wrong? So instead of punishing his wife,
that's a very good question. So are we correcting citizens? It's a matter of perception. If Rama would have ignored Dhobi's voice, today is one voice, tomorrow is 100 voice, right? The blame on him, he chose his wife over the kingdom, right? He never wanted to set up a standard on how the judgment should be, how the justice should be done to a family member or to a normal citizen, right? So blame would be that. So though we have seen how Rama and Sita loved each other, it's established beyond doubt in Ramayana. Rama lost his life almost twice during the war, and the war was only to save Mata Sita. So you can't blame Rama for that he did not love Sita. He loved Mata Sita so much that he was about to lose his life. Right? See, if you see Rama's life, he has lost three important things in life. He lost his kingdom 14 years back. He was about to be a king, and then he went to jungle. He lost his wife almost 2.5 years into the jungle. Then he was about to lose his own life during the war. But he never cheated anyone. He never lost his honesty. Our pain can be bigger than Rama's problems? Can our problems be bigger than Rama's problem? He lost his kingdom. He lost his wife. He was about to lose his life. Even then, he never lost his honesty. Even then, he never lost his truthfulness. He never took shortcuts, right? That's why we are remembering Rama. In fact, Ramayana is a text of endurance. In fact, I want to say, we as a country, we as a civilization learned endurance from Rama. Those 14 years taught us endurance. And that's why we are surviving as a civilization today. We face brutalest of the attacks, from Islamic invaders to British invaders, from Islamic invaders to English invaders. They broke our temples, they broke our civilizations, they broke our gurukuls, they broke our universities. They tried to ruin and loot our country. Even then, after 14,000 years of Ramayana, we are talking about Ramayana today. Even then, our civilization is alive. We are just one of the countries which is such an ancient civilization. And who taught us this endurance? Rama taught us this endurance, right? That's why he took every decision very carefully. He wanted to establish the Parivara Dharma, or he wanted to establish the Raj Dharma, how governance should be done. That's why we as a civilization are alive today.
Thank you so much, Shantanu.
I think now we should end because I have to hop on to another session.
No, I agree. And as I said, it's been a wonderful session. And for all those who still have some of these questions with you, we have addressed some of those in 2 earlier sessions. So I would request you to just go to the YouTube. One session called Controversial Decisions of Sri Rama, which happened a few days ago. So you can check that out. And there's one more session which happened called Sita, Victim or Victor, where specifically this issue of her exile and Agni Pariksha and all of that was handled in detail. So I would request those who have so many questions, very happy that you have questions, but you can go to those, you can go to the Chinmay Yuva Kendra channel on YouTube. It's both these sessions are available as part of CRM Fest. I'm sure you will get your answers there.
One more thing, some people in the chat asked me for the quiz that happening tomorrow. I'm sharing the link. You have to register there. It's a paid event. Which we do in Ramayana School platform. I've shared the link in the chat window. I'm shared the link in the chat window. Some of you want to join can join. Otherwise, I had a lovely time interacting with all of you. How you killed your Ravana, how you expressed how Ramayana is a myth or a real story. How you express your favorite characters. I loved interacting with all of you. Thank you and Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much once again, Shantanu ji. It was a very, very engaging session. I could see from all the participation from the audience that they all thoroughly enjoyed it as well. So thank you so much once again for adding some great, wonderful depth to Ramayana for all the youngsters as part of the CRM Fest. So a few important announcements, everyone, before you can leave. So one question that you may, one of the things you may have is that how do I regularly get these kind of knowledge? Some of you had mentioned that we need to have some places where we can get these kind of things regularly. So one such places is what we have is a discussion class, a CHIK discussion class. CHIK is Chinmay Yuva Kendra. So we have this regular discussion class which happen weekly. Some of you may already be part of it. For those who are not part of it, those who are about 12, you can join these CHIK classes. So there are numbers given over there on the chat. Now I'll request others, please don't post anything on the chat. Let the chat be kept open for the announcements. And so you can look at the contact numbers of Janak and Vineet over there. So you can join those classes regularly and you can have much more such fun interactive sessions as part of that as well. So that is one thing you can definitely do. Today evening, as it was told by, we have got a wonderful session by Nilesh Oak. So did Ramayana really happen and when? So this part is going to be covered. So it's a very, very interesting session. As even the Shantanu recommended it. It was please do attend this and share it with others and ask them also to try and attend it. You will get a lot of wonderful answers as to whether Ramayana really happened and when did it really happen. So that is another session for today evening. And tomorrow morning from 11 to 12:30, I'm going to be conducting a very interesting online game on Hanuman Search for Sita. So we'll be going through a nice game with some activities and all of that, and try and look at Hanumanji was the favorite hero for many of you. So we'll enjoy being part of Hanumanji's journey to find Mother Sita and all the struggles that he had and what we can learn from it. So that is going to happen tomorrow. Again, tomorrow evening, we have a bhajan program on Ramayana. So various devotees are going to come and sing, including Balbihar children, and everybody are going to be singing that. So let's join and let us all sing the glory of Ramji tomorrow evening. This is tomorrow evening happening from 7 to 8:30 p.m. in the evening. And one of the things that I'm sure all you youngsters may be knowing is the beautiful temple complex. And this, and as Shantanu was saying, the whole Ayodhya is going to be a great city, a city of of a symbolism of the grandeur that it represents. So we can do a little bit of part of that too. Of course, you can tell your parents and you can tell some of those people, your relatives, to try and make a contribution towards it. Also, you can share about the importance of this beautiful temple and Ayodhya is such we all start Ramayana by talking about Ayodhya, and a great Ram Mandir going to be re-established there after so many years, half a millennia of struggle. So that is something that we need to be very appreciative about, and all of us are this lucky generation who will be able to witness this happening. So please do support it. And you can follow the Chinmay Yuva Kendra on our CHIK channel on YouTube, on Instagram, we are on Facebook page called Chinmay Yuva Kendra Mumbai. So do follow us and keep in touch, and you can subscribe and you will come to know many great interesting videos we upload, many interesting during festivals, explaining why we celebrate the festivals in certain way, and many other fun things as well. So please do stay in touch and continue to enjoy and also continue to be part of this online CRM Fest. So on that note, we will conclude for today. Once again, thank you all so much for actively participating in today's session. I'm sure you all had a lot of fun, and I'm sure you also take back a lot of life lessons from Ramayana. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। Hari Om everyone.